The time has come to start the first session of the race weekend. It's practice for the Malaysia Grand Prix. So after the first race, how do you think this season will compare to previous years?
Well, I hope that we're in for a fantastic season. The Mercedes team have certainly come out of pre-season testing the strongest, which is all well and good, but it's the racing where the pace really counts. It's always difficult to predict, therefore, who's going to come out on top.
The new regulations for this year say goodbye to the somewhat unique nose designs that we saw on the 2014 cars.
The 2014 changes were brought in to promote safety, but I don't think it was anticipated how the teams would exploit the regulations. This year, those regulations have been tightened up to give us a more traditional look to the noses on the 2015 cars.
Hey there guys, JWF1 here and welcome to my championship mode. In fact, welcome back to my championship mode. We're here for the second race here at Malaysia, the 2015 version of this is the normal version. And if you haven't seen the last one, then please go check it out. Basically what happened was we had quite a good race, I must admit. We had a tricky first stint, but then we made our way back up to fourth after quite a few retirements happened and a few spins, but we made it back up to fourth. Yes, it was quite a good race. So as you can see, I'm just trying to fiddle around with the setup, see where I can go with it. I'm just trying to experiment it because I haven't been around the track so far on this game yet, so I have no idea what it's going to be like. So as you can see, I'm trying to also just reduce the ballast a little bit because I want to get as less weight onto the car as possible so I can get around the corner. And I'm just hoping that we can have a better race than the last race. So we're in practice now and we're going to cut to, later on into lap 1. Now as you can see, I'm going around this right hander and I dip a wheel onto the grass. Clearly I suffered a little bit of oversteer there, so I dipped a wheel onto the grass, which is not really good so far, so that will cost me a bit of time. Now through this corner here now, as I've just missed my braking point and go wide there as well, so that's a huge amount of time lost, which I've got to gain back in the practice sessions because I want to, get a good position in practice, so then, I feel good for the qualifying. So we're just coming to the end of the lap now with DRS. Now coming through the last corner, trying to make sure I don't put the power down too early, otherwise I'll lose the back end. Now DRS on, and now we're going to cross the line round about now to do a 1 minute 40.074. So now on our second lap, can we improve our lap time? We're down to third at the moment behind Rosberg and teammate Bottas. Now down the straight now, can we improve? No, we don't. So that's not very good, and we end up in 6th position behind our teammate Vettel, Raikkonen, Hamilton and Rosberg. So a little bit line astern in the top 8 as well. So that is the practice results. Now let's cut to the qualifying.
Sit back and put your feet up as we head into qualifying here in Kuala Lumpur. Over the next few minutes, we'll find out who's got pace in the car and who hasn't. Last year we saw a wonderful race here in Malaysia, and I'm expecting another fascinating weekend to come here in Kuala Lumpur.
Well, there are at least 3 or 4 other drivers that could be strong contenders for a front row start tomorrow. So it's difficult to predict who will come out on top, but it's certainly going to be an exciting qualifying session today.
So here we are then here for the qualifying here, and so I'm a little bit nervous so far. 6th place in practice is not really what we want, so we really need to improve on that. And because of that, I decided to, adjust the setup. I luckily didn't save it, because otherwise, it would have saved time. But I didn't save it in practice just in case it didn't go wrong, in case it wasn't the correct setup, I should say, and it wasn't. So we're just readjusting the setup right now. I kind of remember what it was in my head, what it was. So we're going to, this time, keep the ballast the same, and we're still going to keep the same wings as before, because I feel that the ballast of the car wasn't quite set up correctly. So I'm just going to keep it on to 6, as recommended say. So now we're going to cut to the beginning of our first lap, and you'll see why, because once again we get slightly held up a little bit, because look who we get held up by, Roberto Merri. But luckily he doesn't hold us up too much. We're able to slip down the inside of him and he's no harm whatsoever. But we've got Hulkenberg in front of us, so he could cost us a bit of time as well. So we have to dispose of him quite quickly. And towards the end of the first lap, Hulkenberg going a little bit slower than us, so we just duck to the inside, knock Ballard in the process, and just get past him. But that may have cost me time as well, because I had to go to the inside of the track to get past him, so my exit was compromised because of that. Now down the straight now, we're going to approach the last corner. Just again, taking a wider line in to get more speed out the corner. So at this point, I just nearly forgot I had DRS on. So we're going to cross the line to do a 1 minute 39.445. And now we're going to cut to our second lap. Now we're going to cut through for the whole lap like in the last one, because this was our fastest lap. So we're in third position at the moment, and I feel that we could split the Mercedes here, because I feel I've got a good car to do that. So into the first corner, as you can see, I'm trying to make sure trying to hug the inside of that curb but not touch it at the same time, just use it as like a guiding tool. Now through this long turn 3, just putting a little steering put in as I can, because if I turn too tightly I'm going to keep twitching, which is going to cost me time. Now coming up to turn number 4, making sure I don't cut it there. Now now you don't cut it now. It's quite easy now not to cut it. So on the last games you could corner cut it and you get frustrated. Now you can't. So through that corner now, that left-hander that we just went past, you have to lift there now. It's no longer flat out. You have to lift, because otherwise you're just going to compromise your entrance and exit of the next corner coming up. And you're obviously going to go wide as well if you go flat out there. So through this hairpin, we've missed the apex there, so that may cost us a bit of time, and we're 1.6 down on Rosberg. So we've really are losing time to Rosberg, but he's not our target. Our target is Hamilton. We want to split the two Mercedeses. We missed the apex of that corner. Now through this corner, now flat out, now braking, making sure I don't go wide, do I? No, made sure I wasn't right there. Now through the second to last corner, and now down this long straight, the first of 2 DRS straights. Well, second if you want to class it for the lap. Now we have 2 minutes and 55 seconds to go. Now coming through the last corner now, again taking a wide line in, but cutting to the inside to get the best speed as I can out the corner, flicking on the DRS. And what's the time going to be? Are we in second place? Yes, with a 1:38.678, and that is where we're going to stay. We did another lap afterwards, but it wasn't quick enough. So there we are in second place. But if you can look there, Rosberg has got a 5-place grid penalty for some reason. So that will mean we will be on pole position, which is incredible. In our second race, we'll be on pole position. So that's the qualifying. So now let's go to the race.
Good afternoon and welcome from Sepang for what is going to be a fascinating race. It's the Malaysia Grand Prix. Sitting proudly in P1 for the start of today's race is the ever-likeable Felipe Massa. He's incredibly proud of his starting position, but he's experienced enough to know he's got to take advantage and see it home in the race.
He's definitely going to be difficult to beat today, but anything can happen, so we'll have to keep a close eye on how this unfolds over the course of the race.
Felipe Massa looks to have the edge over Valtteri Bottas this weekend. He'll be hoping to cement that by finishing ahead of his teammate in today's race.
Felipe has been looking quick this weekend, and if he can carry that into today's race, he could be on for a good result. As for Valtteri, he wasn't looking comfortable with his setup yesterday, and we'll hope it works better for him over the long stints today.
So here we are then, here for the race. We are on pole position, surprisingly, after Rosberg got a 5-place grid penalty, which dropped him down to 6th. So there's the strategy we've got so far. So it's kind of similar to, same or similar, I should say, to Australia. But we've got 28 laps in front of us, and I honestly cannot wait to start on pole position. So 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we're off in Malaysia. And as you can see, we get a decent start. I need to know where Hamilton is, because I cannot see him in my mirrors. I'm going to presume he's side by side. Yes, he is. Hamilton side by side is the first corner, and we've misjudged our braking again. Surely, yes, Hamilton has taken the lead from us. A bit of contact with Raikkonen. Raikkonen tried to have a look. I did not see him coming, but we've kept second place. Maybe a little bit dirty because of Raikkonen being there, but I just did not see him. So now our challenge is to get at Lewis Hamilton again. But I can honestly say, I don't think we'll be able to keep up with him because of the Mercedes engine again. So, well, we're keeping up with him for now, but I can guarantee you, for the rest of the track, I'm pretty sure that we're not going to keep up with him, as we missed the apex of that right-hander. That may give Kimi an opportunity again. So it's pretty much the same top 3 as it was in the first few laps of Australia. Now coming to the end of lap 1, we've gone wide. Raikkonen's alongside us. He had second briefly there, but surely our Mercedes engine is going to keep us ahead. Hamilton sets the fastest lap at 1:43.5, and because of our Mercedes engine, we still keep ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. But it's going to be a long ways ahead to keep back those 2 Ferraris who are right behind us, and we could even get more traffic at the expense of maybe Rosberg, because I think he's probably coming up through the field at the moment. So now we're going to come to lap 5, and as you can see, we're in 3rd position. Rosberg has already passed us, and now Raikkonen is having a go at us for 3rd position. Now the reason why I've cut here is because for some reason my recording device just stopped recording, and because of that, it just missed the bit where Rosberg overtook me. And now I could have gone back to do the replay, but I completely forgot about it, that I could have gone to the replay to see the Rosberg overtake. But enough of that. Vettel has just come out of nowhere. He's passed Raikkonen and he's taken 3rd off me. So we're just going backwards, just like in Australia. We are going backwards. The tyres feel okay. I think it's just the speed that we've got at the moment. It's not working. We've dropped to 4th. Our main target now is to keep up with Vettel. But like in Australia, I think we're going to find that harder because we missed the apex of that corner. And oh, nice plane over there. But concentrating on the action, Raikkonen is all over the back of us. And now we're going to cut to the end of lap 6. And as you can see, Raikkonen, Vettel's already pulled away, so he's gone. Now Raikkonen wants to have a go at us out of the last corner. Can he get us for 4th? We're going to give him the space that he needs to try and get past. He's on the inside, but we get better traction out the corner, and Raikkonen has to bide his time. For some reason, the AI are quite slow when he goes to the inside through that corner, which is unfortunate. But now Bottas and Raikkonen are all over me. Raikkonen's gone to the outside. I'm going to try and brake later, but I missed the apex again. Raikkonen could have an opportunity now going into turn 2. I give him the space, and Raikkonen's hanging it around the outside, and this time Raikkonen has got past me 4th, and now I'm trying to hold up my teammate Bottas once again. So it's pretty much the same top 6, the same drivers in the top 6 as it was in Australia for the first stint. But now I'm trying to keep up with Raikkonen because I want that 4th place back. So I'm going to keep up with him for now. But then, as you can see, later on lap 7, he pulls away a little bit as we go wide into that corner. And surely this may give Bottas an opportunity. In fact, there's someone else behind him. It looks like a Red Bull. I'm not quite sure who it is. But there is a Red Bull behind Bottas, I believe. But now we are coming towards the last corner. Bottas is not close to making an overtake through to the last corner, so I'm guessing he's going to bide his time and hopefully get close so he can have a run on me at turn number 1. And now down the straight now, we're starting lap number 8. What's the gap between me and Bottas? It's 3 tenths. Bottas has definitely got DRS, and he's going to the inside. He's going to have a look into the first corner. Bottas down the inside. I've given him the space. Bottas looks to have it, so I'm going to try and brake later into this corner, tight as I go. But like Raikkonen, Bottas has held it off, and he has we've made contact, and because of that, he got a slow exit out of the corner. I'm going to get back onto the inside into turn number 4, and that is a Red Bull. It's actually Daniel Ricciardo, and we're back up to 5th position. And because of that, because of Bottas having to give way, Ricciardo's picked an opportunity and has got up to 6th. So now my main focus is on Ricciardo behind me, and they said Raikkonen there. Well, they sound a little bit similar at the beginning of their last names, but now coming up to the end of lap number 8 now. And once again, I've gone wide. Clearly, these tyres are definitely going, and it's given Ricciardo an opportunity to go side by side with me down the straight. Somehow, the Renault engine is keeping up with the Mercedes. I do not know why. Well, he's got DRS, but I've got a Mercedes engine, and clearly the DRS is working. But as you can see, I'm pitting this lap, and I brake late because I had to get into the pit. And for some reason, Bottas has decided to come in as well. So I don't understand what Bottas is thinking here. Does he realise he's going to get queued up behind me? And because of that, he's probably going to cost us some more constructors' points. What is Valtteri thinking? We saw this in the previous race with the Toro Rosso, and now Bottas just thinks, well, I'm going to queue behind you. That's not what we want. That's going to cost us some more constructor points. So we've come out of the pits, a 2.3 second stop. We've come out for another set of option tyres, and what's the pit time? The 24.9 seconds, and only a 25-second train that we were in the pits for. We had another second gear glitch, but luckily it wasn't as bad. So We've rejoined in 8th position. Now I'm trying to get these tyres up to temperature. And at this point, my team radio, I did get it up to rich mix at some point, but I had to put it down to standard again. Now I've put it back to rich mix because my engineer tells me that I've got a lot of fuel left over that I need to burn out so I can, make it to the 100 kilogram bit, but 100 kilos of fuel. So and we're on lap 10 now, and we've got ahead of Raikkonen, which is surprising. We have lead for Raikkonen somehow, and we're up into 5th position. Fantastic stuff. But as you can see on the screen right now, it is raining here in Malaysia, so we could be looking at intermediates quite soon, and the track being wet. So now we're going to cut to the end of lap 10, and it is starting to get a little slippy. As look, Vettel and the rest of the pack are coming to the pits, and I've stayed out. So I'm wondering at this point, have I made a tactical mistake here, because the leaders look to have come in for a set of intermediates and I've stayed out on the option tyres. So I could have made a big mistake here. I've stayed out, I'm in 1st position, but like I said, I may have made a big mistake staying out on these tyres. As you can see, look, I'm like trundling around the corners. I'm getting a little bit of grip on the tyres, but around the corners I am definitely struggling to keep it on the track. And as you can see, I'm tippy-toeing around this corner on the end of lap 11, and I feel that this is the time to pit for intermediates. As you can see, I'm forming my pit window, and I'm definitely going to be coming in for the intermediate tyres. So coming through the last corner now, and coming into the pits, and so as you can see, I'm still struggling into the pits because of the dry tyres that I've got on. And now coming into the pits, pit limiter on, and we're just, let's see who's going to come through us actually. So I think that's Hamilton. Hamilton's passed us. Kvyat, surprisingly, is in 3rd position. So he's timed the weather to perfection. He's on a podium position at the moment. He's up to 2nd. So he's got past me. Rosberg has now passed me. And now Vettel has got past me. But can we get ahead of Raikkonen? He's nowhere to be seen at the moment. Am I still ahead of Raikkonen when I come out to the pits? That will be a good thing, meaning that the strategy won't have been that bad, and we're still ahead of Raikkonen. In fact, by a long way. We are still in 5th position, and there's Raikkonen just coming into the mini-map, picture of the mini-map right now. So we've kept hold of 5th position, and we're still on the rich mix, but I'm sure that we're going to be going down onto another fuel mix soon, a lower fuel mix soon, because we need to save some fuel and tyres as well. So now going on to lap 13 now, and we're back into the pits, because as you can see, the leaders have also pit as well. Kvyat has dropped to 4th, and because of that, it's because the weather is getting heavier, and it's clearly time for the wet tyres. I was clearly struggling on these tyres, so it's clear that it's time for the wet weather tyres to go onto my car. So 2.3 seconds stop, and we still come out in 5th position, no hold-ups. So we're in 5th position still. We're still behind Vettel, who I believe, sorry, I don't believe Vettel has got past Kvyat yet. Kvyat's probably been overtaken by Rosberg, but Vettel has come out behind Kvyat. Now this could be a good thing because Kvyat's in a slower car here. Kvyat could be doing me a favour here. I could be getting up to Vettel at this point and potentially for 3rd position at the moment. So I'm just hoping that Kvyat holds him up for a very long time so I can get up to them and hopefully have a chance. I was on lean mix actually, now I've gone back to rich mix because I still have some fuel left over that I need to burn. But as you see, look, on lap 15, Vettel was already past Kvyat, so the tactic hasn't worked that well, but we're on the back of Kvyat, and our Mercedes engine, no DRS now, it's been disabled, it's just pure slipstream, but surely the Mercedes engine will power past the Renault engine, and we're on the inside, and yes, we are up into 4th position. Next target in Sebastian Vettel, but as you can see, Vettel was not that far out in front, so Kvyat may have done a little bit of a favour for us, and we're still on the rich mix, so could we get the podium of Sebastian Vettel at the moment, here on lap 16 of the race, and that would be great if we can get onto the podium. But now we're going to cut to lap number, I believe this is lap number 18 now. So we've cut a little bit forward, 3 laps forward I believe. As you can see, Vettel was lap Merry, I'm close to him. So now I'm going to come up to Merry, I'm going to try and lap in. What is Merry doing? He's just blocked me. I've hit the back of him. What on earth was Merry doing? I hope he gets the penalty for that, because that is disgusting. I was on the right, he should have seen me coming, I was going to pass him easily, and he just decides to come to the right, thinking I was going to stay on the racing line. What on earth was he thinking? Clearly the AI have still got that issue where they just turn to the right to try and let you through when you're actually trying to pass him off the racing line, not on it. So now we're going to cut, and as you can see, we're up to third. Rosberg is out of the race. Rosberg is out, so we're on the podium here on lap 23, as there's a yellow flag out as well, on this sector as well. As you can see, we are coming up to a slow car, and that is Roberto Merhi. So why is Rosberg retired, and why is Merhi going so slowly all of a sudden? That's what I want to know. We need to see a replay of this, and here's Rosberg. So why is he retired? Let's have a look. Engine failure. He had an engine failure. So that's why Rosberg's out. So why is Merhi going slowly? Let's have a look. As we come through this corner, and there you go, look. As you can see, look, you can't quite see it, but the front tyres are jammed. Now, I don't know if this is a glitch or a real thing that happens on these cars, but Merhi's front tyres are jammed. And because of this, look, Grosjean has got nowhere to go. A little bit weird from the AI to not, just try and make an overtake on Merhi. But Merhi's tyres are clearly jammed, and now he tries to let Grosjean free, and he's made contact. Grosjean has hit the back of him, and that's put Merhi off the track, and he's rejoined. And now here comes Massa coming up to him, and he's hit the back of him. So there's carnage whenever cars go up to Merhi. That is really weird to see from the AI. I hope Comas has fixed this, because this shouldn't be happening on the games. And more carnage. Nasser's tagged the back of him, and now he's caused carnage down this straight. There's cars all over the place. And now Button is now coming up to Merhi as well with those jammed tyres. So let's ride on board with Grosjean here. This may be a long haul of replays that we've got to look at here. So Grosjean is stuck behind the jammed wheeled Merhi. So he's trying to get up to Merhi, and Merhi tries to let him through, but Grosjean, just like me in fact, I tried to get past Merhi, but for some reason he just turns to the right. And it's the same here as well when Nasser tries to pass him here, as he's got a little bit of glitchy wheels there, which is really unfortunate. Might put that as a hashtag down in the description, but then again that would be spoiling it, wouldn't it? So now we're going to look behind at Nico Hülkenberg as well. I think he was the guy who actually went off towards the right. So Merhi swerved towards him at this point, and he's just slipping all over the place. And I think he gets tagged by that Toro Rosso. I don't know which Toro Rosso that is, but that's put Hülkenberg into the wall. And who was that? It was Carlos Sainz. So Carlos Sainz tagged the back of him. So Merhi, here we go again. Merhi tries to let Nasser through. Nasser tags the back of him, then he collects Hülkenberg. Then Sainz tries to avoid it. He slips, and then Hülkenberg just veers into the path of him, and then that just lets Button gets past them all. So that is really unfortunate. Now we're right on board with Button. I think this is later on, in fact. So Merhi has clearly caused more carnage, and so Button's had a look, and he's had to take to the grass, and a bit of contact with Merhi, and that has let Sainz get past him. So somehow Sainz, I think that's Sainz anyway, I'm not 100% sure, I think it is. And now coming through here, Perez tries to have a look at him, and yet Merhi has spun. I don't know if Merhi's caused more carnage. Now we're on board for Verstappen, so it was Sainz that got past him. Grosjean, look, has got past Merhi behind this train, so a queue of cars have got stuck behind Merhi's jammed car. And as you can see, look, again, the same thing here, and then he causes carnage down the straight, shoving Verstappen, shoving Ericsson onto the grass, and it looks like he's collected the McLaren of Fernando Alonso as well. So, right on board with Alonso, I think we'll get the best view from Fernando Alonso here. This is a long haul of replay, so Merhi's gone. Merhi's been tagged by these lot, and Alonso's trying to veer his way through, but then he gets collected by Merhi, and then just Verstappen just veers in front of him, and Alonso's just a passenger at this point, and more glitchy wheels. So now we're finally out the replays, thank God. We're cutting on to lap 26, and as you can see, it's getting a little bit drier, but as you can see, Vettel, I believe that is Vettel has come into the pit, and that brings us up into second position. Hamilton is 30 seconds in front of us, so he's gone, but we're up into second position, and he's coming for the intermediate tyres, and we've stayed out on the wet, so we're taking a gamble to stay out on the wet tyres with 2 laps to go. Vettel feels that this will be enough to try and catch me up in time to take that second place off me, but we've stayed on the wet tyres. I have taken a gamble to stay out for the last 2 laps, to stay on these tyres and try and make it to the end. So on lap 28 now, the checker flag is out. Lewis Hamilton has won the race. He has completely dominated it since he took the lead into turn 1. But can we keep second place? It looks like we can, but there's a back marker trying to probably ruin all those plans. It looks like, yeah, Marcus Ericsson. And, oh, what's Ericsson doing? He's just swerved across me, and that's just given Vettel second place. And Oh, what was he thinking there? Again, it's just like Mary, just swerved in front. But what on earth was Ericsson thinking? Oh, we've got third place, but that is annoying. Honestly, there you go then, that was the podium. But honestly, what on earth was Ericsson thinking? I'm telling you right now, I was literally ticked off after the race for what he did. He just swerved to the right for no apparent reason. Anyway, Hamilton won, Vettel second, me in third, Raikkonen fourth, Bottas fifth, Kvyat sixth, Ricciardo seventh, Grosjean eighth, Nasser ninth, Button 10th, with Sainz and Perez failing to make it into the top 10. Two of them got 5-second penalties. But honestly, what even pees me off? Look, Ericsson doesn't even get a penalty, and nor does Mary. They both were in the wrong today, and they still didn't get penalties for it. What on earth? In the Drivers' Championship, we're up to second, which is a good thing, but we're equal with Kimi Raikkonen. But because of the podium we have, we're second. We're 23 points, I should say, behind Lewis Hamilton. In the Constructors, we're third, with Ferrari and Mercedes ahead of us, but we're ahead of Red Bull, Lotus, Toro Rosso, Sauber, McLaren, Force India, and Manor. So that is it then for the second round here at Malaysia. We're hoping to do better in Bahrain. Please like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, I'm your JWF1 and I'll see you for the 2014 version of this race. Cheers.